We're gonna be talking about weird car quirks. Alfa Romeo just seems to be the weird one on the block. I don't know what they're doing with their cars. They're blowing them up. They're kind of cool to look at, but they also have really weird compartments. First reason these compartments exist is because there's usually safety stuff in it, medical stuff in it. The second reason is drugs.
That's just how it is.
Police stations had to issue a release that this location actually exists if a vehicle needs to be searched. Anyway, G35s have a car quirk of being the unofficial car for takeovers. 1.6 million views, goddamn! I made a short a few months ago that talked about weird car quirks.
The Mitsubishi Evo makes no fucking sense. Like the Evo 6, it was a king of rally racing.
I think most of the people just took it as their own weird car quirk, not like a factory weird car quirk. And they told me all sorts of weird stuff about the cars that they've built, bought, modified, or owned at one point in their life. And I gotta say, there's some fucked up cars in this world. I've seen some weird shit on the highway, but the YouTube community takes it home in terms of weird shit their car does or that they did to it. Which, by the way, I'm Alex, AlexMartini with 2 underscores on Instagram. And if you haven't had a chance, please don't forget to subscribe because we're gonna be talking about weird car quirks, quote unquote, the movie. Okay, this is a judgment-free zone. I just want you to know this. And to start it off, I wanna let you know a weird car quirk that the GR86 has. It's a brand new car. It's got a gas cap that looks like a smashed egg. I don't know why it's shaped the way that it is, but once you see it, you never unsee it. It makes me a little bit uncomfy. Anyway, let's get into it, okay? Because there's some popular car quirks that I would say you know out there. Here's a common one you may not know. My old Alfa Romeo community shared me this one. The Alfa Romeo 4C has an exposed TCU in some of the beginning years of the car of being released. When it gets wet, it can cause catastrophic failure, and it's considered a quirk. So you have to cover it, you have to get an aftermarket part, or you just have to not wash the underside of the car, because if you do, the whole thing could just blow up. That doesn't, like, I don't think that's a weird car quirk. I would say that's a recall notice that we need to get figured out. One thing that I did mention though, is I was asking people, one of my friends has a Dodge Viper, and he told me that like the ACR Viper is got a wicked weight reduction skill, that it's got something out there that nobody else can do in the market. Like Dodge really nailed how to get weight reduction out of this ACR, because if you turn the defroster on and if you turn it on to a very high heat very, very quickly, sometimes it'll shatter the entire rear glass of the car, which you can then just put all the glass into a little bin, you can throw it out, and then you got some weight reduction. This was actually a thing that happened on the ACR Vipers. And then once we started talking about it, I started asking a couple other friends. Turns out this has happened on a lot of different vehicles. It's happened on Ford F-150s. It's happened to some Jeeps. It's happened to ACR Vipers. And apparently the reason that this exists is because there's faulty connections with the wiring. And what happens is that it overheats the glass, making the defroster get too hot. And it causes an uneven heating to happen on the glass, and it causes an initial break. Now, apparently this is a big thing with Fiat, Ford, and Viper. Viper, I think, is part of Fiat. I don't know. It gets weird because they bring names out and then they bring names back in. But nevertheless, when they went to go claim that this was an actual issue at the factory, Viper essentially told them to kick rocks. So did Ford, actually, because there's a guy out there that's driven his Ford F-150 for like more than 4,000 miles now with a shattered rear glass because the dealership won't replace it. And if they do want to replace it, he'll have to pay for it. I thought that was a little bit interesting. Also, on things that are like not as maybe serious, maybe negative in the world, if you guys haven't noticed, there's a lot of cars out there that have really weird glove compartments. Really weird compartments in general. Little hidden secret Easter eggs that make you feel like you're playing Halo 2 again. I have recently figured out that there's a couple weird ones out there. Alfa Romeo just seems to be the weird one on the block. I don't know what they're doing with their cars. They're blowing them up. They're kind of cool to look at, but they also have really weird compartments. In the Alfa Romeo compartment, you can actually find this in the old 80s models. The early Veloci Spiders actually had like branded tools hidden in a compartment behind the fuel pump in the trunk. A lot of people didn't know that this ever existed. They just thought that the car never actually came with any tools from Alfa Romeo, when in fact they did. And a lot of them are actually going for a pretty penny online. Usually these secret compartments serve 1 to 2 major purposes. The original intention of these secret compartments is for you to have your medical kit, your toolboxes, your goodies that you need to have around in case you ever need to use them because you're stuck on the side of the road. I had a 2004 E55 AMG that had a medical kit in its little secret compartment. You wanna know what I did? I took it. It's mine. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Okay, listen, I have somewhere my medical kit from my 2004 E55 AMG. I took it out of the car when I sold it. That is my confession. I don't feel bad about doing it. You would do it too, okay? There are people that get mad when people take out the stuff from the OEMs. I take shit out all the time. If my Ferrari came with a little suitcases still in it, I'd take that shit out if I sold it too, okay? It came to me with a cigar. It is leaving my possession without a cigar, okay? That's the first reason. The first reason these compartments exist is because there's usually safety stuff in it, medical stuff in it. The second reason is drugs.
That's just how it is.
First things first, Infiniti G35s actually have a side pocket in the armrest that's hidden behind a Velcro strap. It's on the sedans, and I don't think it's on the coupes, but the sedans, it was so bad. Police stations had to issue a release that this location actually exists if a vehicle needs to be searched because it was so hard to find. People didn't know that there was actually a compartment there. I don't know if it was there to check for medical or if there was to check for maybe tools for when a car breaks down, but my guess is that it was getting announced that there's a secret compartment there because when cops have to go look into cars, there's usually for drugs. Anyway, there's also a fact that the Golf GTI is like an Easter egg to stash things. There's things that are wild that you can put in a Golf GTI. There's little pockets beneath the cup holders, center console, under the back seat, even behind the dash vents that you can actually put stuff in. Legally. Look at me. Legally. Now, here's a good new one. I'm not sure if this is a quirk or again a recall. It's very weird how close these two things can link together, okay? But new Fords love to randomly brake on hills. This is a ton of new cars are doing this, okay? So it's like they just brake like a motherfucker going up or down hills, especially in the mornings or the evenings. Now get this, it is something that probably won't be fixed for a while because what's happening is it's the system in these vehicles. It's called ADAS or the Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. And what's happening is it's super common on anything that tries to help you with braking. So if your car helps you with braking, you're probably gonna experience this at some point in owning the vehicle. It recognizes the shadows as if there's something in the way. And when you're in the morning, or in the evenings, or if you're going up or down a hill, a lot of times there's that shadow that's hitting your car and it's pointing downwards and then the sun. I'm trying to make this a science class. I'm like the Wish app Bill Nye the Science Guy. And so when you're backing up, it recognizes that contrast between the sun and the shadow as an object and it'll just brake. You'll just brake, the truck will brake, the car will brake, the SUV will brake, and you just wondered if you just hit something. This is happening more and more and more, and it's super, super common. Anyway, G35s have a car quirk of being the unofficial car for takeovers. That might just be me. Anyway, it actually does have a weird quirk, and that's that the fuel tank baffling, the filling tube actually goes bad and causes fill-ups to take literal ages. So if you do have a G35 that takes a long time to fuel up, or a Infiniti or a G37, a lot of the G35, G37s have this issue, it's probably the baffling in your filling tube. Anyway, last thing was from a random comment on a YouTube video somewhere, somehow, somewhen. I don't know what I'm saying, but whoever gets credit for this, they can let me know in the comments below. Toyota introduced the first turbo gooch cooler. Do what you want with that information and let me know what your car quirks are below. I'm Alex, AlexMartini with 2 underscores on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are staying tuned on the Turbo S2000 build. We're working on that right now. We're trying to get it wide body. So those videos are going out on Thursday. Our sit down videos are on Monday. Our out and about videos are on Thursday. So hope you enjoyed. Let me know your weird car quirks. Or don't. I'm not your dad. We'll see you later. Adios. Hey!